Start streaming. Get it out there onto the feeds. Make sure we're all good to go before we get on with the show. Okay, I see us. We're oh. That terrified me. You can't hear yourself? What? Now try.
On the stream, it's not going.
Okay, hold on. I think I fixed it.
You can't hear yourself? What? On the stream. There we go.
There it is.
Now I hear myself. All right.
I was like, wait, hold on. What did I do? What happened? God, I fixed it for happy hour, but I didn't. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out.
Freeze. There we go.
There it is.
Now I hear myself. All right.
Perfect. Beautiful.
I wasn't saying like a lot of words at once. I was like,
You're making a lot of sounds.
Troll.
You're making a lot of sounds
That's true.
at once.
Well, I make a lot of sounds, to be fair. I mean, I just made you wait 45 minutes before I showed up, so I already feel bad enough.
Well, at least it's out there on the stream.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna admit it on the show. I was gonna admit it on the show anyway. So
no worries. The show for the podcast listeners, it doesn't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, but were you able to watch Okada versus Naito?
No, that was like the only thing I wasn't able to watch this morning.
I wished I was able to just like let you decide that, halfway through that I was not waking up and you could have just like made the executive decision. I
doubt I didn't see it yet, but I doubt I would have had even then enough time to. If I knew exactly at 9, then I probably could have watched it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, because 9:15, you probably wouldn't have been. Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, let's do the goddamn show. Ready?
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, to Ring Post Radio, the only show where, even if there's like nothing happening in wrestling, we're still doing the show. But when like legit everything happens in wrestling, we're here. We're gonna cover it. We're gonna talk about it as much as we can in our limited time slot. So I'm Ryan Knightsey. I'm joined as always by Scotty. Scotty. Do you have anything quick to say before we get right into it? Because boy, howdy, what a week.
Not the best week for me to be late. Just have the adrenaline in my soul, something about a pirate, and I like wrestling. All right, got it all in.
Beautiful.
Something about a pirate. I couldn't think of anything for a pirate. Ahoy, mateys. There we
go. Yeah, it's a big week. Like it was such a big show that we started cutting topics from the show. Like that's how big because it just got bigger and bigger last week.
We cut 2, including a news item and a complete preview. So
what was the other news item? Oh well, no one cares about that news item.
Shout out to Swerve versus Leo Rush though, baby.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about Terminus, but we cut that from the show because I'm going to Terminus again.
I got to talk about that though, so that's okay.
Yes, that match.
That's the match.
That seems like the match. I gotta look back at the card.
I do see everyone on Twitter be like, "Please be a regular match. Please don't ruin it with the rules."
I mean, I think it's gonna be. I mean, because that's to me, that's the most interesting thing, and that's like what draws me about Terminus, because that's what Gresham can do. Is he knows how to do just do your stuff within the parameters of the rules. Don't become a technical wrestler. Just do your shit within the rules.
Get your shit in.
That's
gonna be Swerve's first televised match.
Yeah, it is, and I'm gonna be there, baby. So
exciting.
Get ready. Assuming, I guess he doesn't have like a match this Wednesday on Dynamite.
By the way, he's going by every single name in every single promotion he's in.
Oh, really?
He's Swerve the Realist in Terminus. He's Shane Strickland in
New Japan, right?
place that he showed up. I was gonna not spoil it because I don't know. Actually, it's just New Japan. It's strong. No one cares enough. Yeah, New Japan Shane Strickland.
That match isn't coming out for like another 5 months. So
Yeah,
who
but it
cares?
probably rules. Yeah, so good for him.
Yeah.
He's good.
He is very good.
He's probably gonna go to AEW. I saw.
Yeah, it's like him, Jeff Hardy, Mojo
Buddy
Rawley.
Murphy all of a sudden.
Okay,
Did you fucking say Mojo Rawley?
Probably in a dark match.
I don't get hyped. I stay hyped.
Well, we got a big show for everyone today. We're gonna review or preview Stardom Cinderella Journey coming up. That's gonna be happening on the 23rd, I believe, this week. We're gonna review Impact No Surrender, which took place last night. Pretty good show, gotta say. Pretty good show. We'll talk more about it. And of course, there's many nights of the New Japan Golden Series, but there were two noteworthy nights that we'll talk about as well.
Right. I have a question for you.
You have a question for me.
Do you have adrenaline in your soul?
I tend to have adrenaline in my soul.
Are you only smoking mirrors?
I do have the mustache, kind of.
That's true.
I do.
But you don't have the undashing mask.
No, I don't have a paper bag over my head. That would have been the bit,
you
right?
dyed your hair blonde.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I should have done for this episode. Well, I don't know. I assume you're alluding to the big news that Stone Cold Steve Austin will be wrestling at
That was also news this week. My God, it's been a long week.
That broke like last Sunday after we recorded. Was like, oh yeah, Stone Cold's gonna be at WrestleMania, probably fighting Kevin Owens, coming out of retirement. I don't know what I like. I have many concerns, questions, whys to that news.
I don't know if that's like news we have to fully talk about, but I do want to say I don't think it's happening.
You don't think it's happening?
I don't think he wrestles a match. I think he gets physical, but I don't think he wrestles a match.
I think if anything, it's going to be
Unless it's like Eric Rowan versus The Rock.
That's what I was going to say. I think if anything, it's going to be to the extent of Rowan versus Rock, where it was like 2-3 minutes or whatever it was, like a match that ultimately doesn't matter.
It was actually 15 seconds.
Oh, was it? Yeah, it's probably gonna be like a stunner, and then that's it. I doubt it. I mean, even then, like this guy should be really doing stunners. I remember him being like, "I did a stunner on Xavier Woods at WrestleMania, and that hurt me so bad." It's like, wow, that was like what, 10 years ago or something? That felt like forever.
WrestleMania 32, 6
years ago. I was close. Close. You round up. I was close.
Last time in Dallas.
Of course he's going to sell it. I mean, he's going to make an appearance. Whether it's an actual full-blown match, I doubt it. I doubt he's getting 10 minutes in the ring with Owens.
All right, Ryan, we got to talk about it. we just got to. We have so much to talk about today. We have to talk about the big one.
Yeah. So, what was it? Monday? Tuesday? Tuesday, yeah. Tuesday news broke. I don't know why I'm giving much of a preface. This is Sunday, and this news has been out all week. If you're living on a rock, if you're listening to the show, you pretty much have heard the news. Cody Rhodes has officially left AEW, or rather, he did not re-sign a new contract. He's been working on a handshake deal for a while now. Not able to sign a new contract with AEW, and so he is a free agent. He is effectively a free agent. Able to go anywhere. There is the expectation, obviously, that he's going to go to WWE, because honestly, where else would he be able to go? Obviously, everyone else will take him, but no one will give him that $1 million contract that he's probably would be searching for. And just more and more news broke out from there. We have the thank yous from everybody. There was the initial days of denial of whether just figuring out if this is work. Or not, but as the days went on, it just became more and more real that, oh yeah, he's just gone. There's loss of booking power in 2020, or was it 2019 going into 2020, that really affected him. Obviously, there's the whole EVP drama that seemed to have gotten better at the end there, but ultimately didn't seem that fruitful. and then there's the Omega interview with Meltzer that talked about how just his vision seemed to be completely different. But speaking about how Cody just seemed to be unhappy in the company, not what he wanted it to be. And now there's that. And then like late last night, he like Instagram out a thing saying like, this is what retirement looks like, with a picture of his dog and his baby. And it's just like, okay, hold on. Now is he retired? What is happening?
No.
It's just been a big week of Cody Rhodes news. So Scotty, what after it all, thinking it over for like a whole week, what's your takeaway? What are you thinking about this news?
I don't find much of it as shocking as a lot of other people do. And I think, as time has gone on, some people are starting to like understand as more news pops out. But my entire thing with this is Cody's always been a guy that, he needs to prove everyone wrong and himself right. He believes in himself more than anyone, which is good. That's good as a human being. You should always do that. But I always had this part of me that depending on how AEW went, depending on how his career went in AEW, he was always going to want to go back. There's part of him, and you could tell just by his personality, that needs to prove himself in WWE. There's still wrestlers out there that feel that way, believe it or not. There's not as many, but a lot of wrestlers still feel they need to make it in the one, especially if they've been there before. And Cody's entire career before leaving was WWE. That's where he started. That's where he trained. That's where he pretty much grew up. Because, by then, Dusty was pretty much in WWE by then, more full-time.
Yeah.
So I don't find that too shocking. And if you look back into Cody's AEW run, a lot changed after he lost the title to Darby. A lot changed in his entire career. The way he was used, everything changed. One, he started to get booed again. Or slowly his reactions went from the babyface,
the ace of the company.
Yeah, he was the ace, the babyface. Everything about him. And you never would have thought we would end up where we are now. But after that loss to Darby, if you look at his pay-per-view matches, if you look at all of his storylines, he did a whole lot of nothing. So last year at Revolution, I don't even know what he did. That's the thing. I have no clue what he did off the top of my head. Double or Nothing, he fights Anthony Ogogo after feuding with The Factory. All Out. Was he even on All Out?
I'm looking into it now.
I don't think he was on All Out.
That was 2019. No, he was not. He was only on the first All Out. He wasn't on the other two.
Yeah, right. He missed those, and then at No Gear, Full Gear, he was
Full Gear 2020 was the TNT title match with Darby.
2021.
The Revolution was the Face of the Revolution ladder match where he weirdly left it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Let's see. Then Double or Nothing was Anthony Ogogo.
Yeah. Which, no offense, but that was a waste.
And then
Ogogo did not benefit from it.
And then no All Out or anything, but then go to Full Gear with Cody Rhodes and Pac versus Andrade and Malachi.
There you go. I think that sums up how dramatically Cody has changed, because he started to do a little more of the Hollywood stuff. He was doing the big show. He had his own show. Mm-hmm. And it just makes you sit there and think, okay, so was this just happening the whole time? Because, during it, you're like, okay, maybe, he's just taking a back seat for now. He was on top for a while. but clearly, by the sounds of it, by what it looks like, based off of his booking alone, I'm pretty sure he's been unhappy for a very long time. And, you know, him and the EVPs, which are just the elite, I think a lot of people have, there's been reports for a while now that they did not get along anymore, especially Cody and Kenny, it sounds like, more than anyone else.
But to be clear,
Like,
it's not like they hated each other. It was just
no.
was just like, oh yeah, we're professional. We're not like friends.
Yeah, right. Which at one point they were friends. Let's be serious here. There's a reason when they left Ring of Honor, they said we go together no matter what. All of us as a package deal. That was the Elite's thing. If you read the Young Bucks book, the last person to say yes to AEW was Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
They needed him to say yes because do you know where he was considering going back to? Improving and being comfortable. That was WWE. He considered that when he was getting that big money deal. That's why this isn't as shocking. And the unfortunate part, I think, is we never got heel Cody Rhodes in AEW. If we're looking at it just as a booking base, as what he could have done, heel Cody Rhodes could have done a lot in AEW. Heel Cody Rhodes is the best version of him everywhere but AEW, which I find very funny. He was good as a heel in WWE. He was a great heel in Ring of Honor. He was a solid heel in New Japan. He never got to that point. And the fact that we are here on February 20th, 2022, talking about the fact that 3 years later, Cody Rhodes is probably going back to WWE, probably going to have a match on WrestleMania. That's still kind of crazy. Even if we have sat here for a whole week and thought, okay, well, some of this makes sense. It's crazy. And it's exciting. I'll be honest with you, Ryan. I'm pretty excited about the whole idea of this.
Yeah, me too.
And I think we have to, I don't know if you agree with me on this. I don't think AEW needed him anymore.
No, it became the thing at a certain point where I don't know exactly the point where he was no longer needed, because he's, to be fair, he was still drawing, he was still selling tickets, he was still drawing ratings. He is still a valuable asset to have on the show. He's still helpful. He's still putting people over. He's an incredibly valuable asset. But in terms of like the ace, in terms of being that guy, I don't know exactly when it was. Maybe it was like when Punk came in, when Danielson came in. It felt like once those type of guys started coming in, then Cody just fell more and more. And it wasn't just like on that. It was just in his own Codyverse booking where, because he's putting us over this other talent, he's losing these matches against Sammy and Darby and Malachi and Andrade because he's trying to put them all over, right? So at a certain point, he was no longer needed, despite being ultimately a valuable asset for being a money drawing star.
Yeah. He was so important to AEW in its first year. Like I don't want to overlook that. He was very important to them because if you look at that original roster, it was Kenny, the Bucks, Cody, Hangman, and Jericho. That was the draw of it all. It was them.
Yeah.
And Cody, like we've been saying, he was more over than any of them as a babyface. Hangman was nowhere close.
I still have fond memories of that Cody Rhodes Jericho match buildup with Cody Rhodes cutting that insanely great promo in the middle of the ring. That I believe that was the reveal of like, if I lose this, I'm never challenging again. Which to an extent was great. It was a great idea, but also in hindsight, deterred the amount of things he can do on the roster.
Yeah.
There's been like discussion online about like, Cody kind of hurt himself doing the Codyverse thing because, it limited the amount of booking he can do. And
Mhm.
plus he I think had fun putting people over like that. But in the
Yeah.
same breath, we missed out on all those matches of like Adam Cole, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Danielson, etc., 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 because they're in the world title picture. Cody isn't. So why should we see this match
And
except just for seeing it?
and he didn't want to go heel. He did not want to go heel in AEW. Now, do I think that if he were to debut on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, he would potentially be willing to be a heel? Probably. You know why? He's getting paid a lot more money. He doesn't care. It's
You and I talked about this over Slack, where it was just like, so it looks like it comes down to, because he can obviously, him and AEW can come to some sort of agreement, obviously. But it looks like it came down to like, well, do I want just a little bit more creative freedom? Because no matter what, he's not getting any booking power,
right.
unless he's taking
Right.
over NXT, which I doubt. Uh,
No, not happening.
he's not gonna get any like booking power at all. Maybe a little bit of himself, like he can probably have a say in the room, but ultimately no. And it's gonna be the same boat with it's not gonna be any different than what it was with AEW, where maybe you have some creative control, but ultimately you're gonna do the thing. He's not gonna be able to cut his own promos. He's gonna have more creative freedoms in AEW. However, he's easily gonna get another like $2 million probably at least
Per year.
per year on his contract. So, it's the other thing. I mean, there's one thing for the bags. There's another thing for like morals and all that stuff. Like, I don't know what it's really hard because he's a wrestler, right? I don't know what Cody
Yeah.
feels about all these things, but it does definitely feel like a betrayal to the AEW audience of like he's going back to like that. The part of I'm thinking about going to WWE is the whole thing about feeling like a betrayal. We have years and years of him like dogging on them, despite still respecting the company and like you said, I agree, probably wanting to go back. But in the same breath, like Kenny Omega said on the Meltzer interview, he was the guy pushing this anti WWE sentiment. He was the guy moving that flagship towards the line of just, screw this other company. We're the better one. We're different. We're better. And this is why we're better. And then going back to the company, it's just like, okay, well, is that all hollow? Is that all matter? Do you care about that at all? It's just the whole thing. It's
Well,
like it's all this stuff that's like stabbing in the back that he's what's the word?
yeah.
Crapping on himself, I guess.
One thing that I've seen, as the week has gone on, especially after the Kenny interview, is people posting like BTE skits of like them making fun of WWE, and I'm like, I do think it's different. That wasn't Elite Young Bucks Kenny versus WWE. That was, we're just gonna make fun of them because we can.
Yeah.
I think there is a difference. Cody did have and I don't think it was a bad thing that Cody had this. I think it did drive AEW, and I think it did actually help more than anything, is having part of that mentality that we can be better, we will be better, is not a bad thing. I think a lot of people are ready to, kind of just turn on Cody because he's leaving and he's seemingly gone.
Yeah.
But I kind of just want to say, like, he was very important and he will always be important to this company. He'll probably go back one day, one way or the other. I know a lot of people think he might somewhere down the road maybe try to create his own promotion or be part of management in a promotion or something like that, because let's just be honest here, everybody. There is no one that wants to be Dusty Rhodes more than Cody Rhodes. It's just true. That is the career that Cody Rhodes wants for himself, and it's a good career to want to have. Dusty Rhodes is a legend. But it's the truth. We've seen Cody do a lot of things that are in memory of his dad. and that's perfectly fine. He is the former NWA World Champion. That was his entire story for All In, and it was a cool moment. Now he's going to go back to WWE. He's going to try to prove himself there. Something that Dusty tried to do at one time. He tried to prove himself there after being a big star elsewhere.
Well, he was a big star elsewhere for a very long time.
Yeah, but he did go to WWE, and he didn't have that same success. It's definitely different because Cody does not have the accolades or a lot of the things that Dusty had. But I think Cody this is probably gonna get me attacked by old people, but Cody's just as important in a lot of different ways to wrestling. As Dusty.
100%. I can see what you're trying to say. Cody ultimately is the catalyst to all of this.
Yeah.
We
don't have AEW without Cody Rhodes.
He cut that promo, which is basically what we're trying to allude to, of him being like, CM Punk did all this stuff, but I did it. He's not wrong. Right. He's not wrong. Cody Rhodes did leave the WWE. He did tour the indies and wrestled a bunch of people. He did go to Ring of Honor, become the champion. He did become the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion. He did go to New Japan, became a US champion multiple times, and did all this stuff. In New Japan, joined the Bullet Club, expanded the Bullet Club brand, made the largest independent wrestling show of all time with All In or All Out, All In, whatever it's called, of All In.
Gets me every time.
Which then brought out TK, saw that was a viable option, and then created this company. The Young Bucks and Omega were certainly going to do it, but at one point in time, they were also going to go to WWE. It was either WWE or going on a limb and try this company with them, with Tony Khan. If Cody wasn't there, then I don't know how much of the height of all of it. I don't know what the height of all of this would have been. I don't know if All In would have. All In probably could have happened, but I don't know if it could have been at the biggest it ever was.
That was a Cody tweet. That was Cody betting on himself and betting on what they could do. And I'm not taking anything away from Kenny and the Young Bucks. Let's be serious here. The reason this all worked is because they had them. Those three were the biggest stars outside of WWE in a very long time.
Yeah.
It's just true. And who knows where they are right now if Cody's not in this mix at all. They're probably still in New Japan or Ring of Honor or something. That's where they probably are.
They probably would have been WWE. Their contracts would have come up and they would have gotten WWE offers like they did, and they probably would have gone there.
Don't know about that because All In never happens. And I think All In did so much because it gave the idea that they could sell out a building in the US that big.
That's true.
Because Kenny wasn't over here. Kenny wasn't doing much in the United States. He would, appear on a Ring of Honor show once in a while, but he was all New Japan. So I think without Cody, you never really know where does WWE sound right? Probably, if they wanted to, just kind of have that, have the money for the rest of their lives. That's definitely viable. It's definitely believable. But I guess we really would never know because All In changed a lot in professional wrestling. It changed a lot. And it's just so interesting to look back on because now Cody's gone. As far as we know, he is gone. He's probably in WWE, probably is signing on the dotted line. And good for him. I mean, here's what I hope. I hope Cody gets everything he wants in WWE. I hope he gets that world title reign that he wants in WWE. Let's be honest here. That's what he wants.
Sure.
He wants to say he was WWE champion, or no one ever wants to say they're Universal champion, but you know what I mean. Like, they want to have that world title reign in WWE. And we have to also be honest with ourselves. He has a 6-month window to prove what he's worth. It does sound like, from all reports, that Vince McMahon's very happy that he's getting Cody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he got one. He got one. He got one of the EVPs.
If you're WWE, that's a no-brainer signing. Like 100%. I like if I was WWE, like of course we're signing this guy. Give him all the money. I don't care. He is one of the people that is like the pillars of AEW, as it were, in the creation of the company.
True pillars, yeah.
Yeah, 100% I'm taking this guy. Like with no question. Give him all the money in the bank. I don't care.
And I think you book him. I think you book him well. Like, you know, we can make fun of WWE. People had great time doing it yesterday. You know, because of pay-per-view that shall not be named.
Mm-hmm.
But this is probably me being dumb, you know, because you never know with WWE. But I do think Cody's going to have a lot of success in the next coming months. I do. I think I give it a 6-month window because there is a point that Vince McMahon gets bored with you unless your name is Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar or you're one of the top women on the roster. If you look at the WrestleMania Backlash poster, for example, their biggest stars are on that. It's Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
That's just the truth. Those are your biggest stars.
And I would say like Charlotte Flair is last on that list.
I'd probably put Bianca Belair over her, truthfully, but you know, she wasn't in the title picture yet at the time that they released the poster.
Sure.
Whatever. And Sasha Banks is, you know, she has her own name outside of WWE.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point. Cody has a real chance to be one of the top male stars now in this promotion, in this company, very quickly, because
Cody's a smart guy. You look at the roster there. You watch the Royal Rumble, see that there is practically no one. He can easily walk in. Now, are you confident that WWE can pull it off?
Nope.
Yeah, me neither. I'm
confident that Cody has something in his deal that if he doesn't like it, he leaves.
Oh yeah, got that classic Rey Mysterio contract where it's after 6 months, you know, if I don't like it, I'll leave. Which
the Young Bucks were offered that when they were getting contracted by Triple H.
Yeah, I would love that. I would love that contract. And then because then Cody Rhodes just stays in WWE for 6 months and then he leaves and goes back to AEW. Because after, you know, assuming he does a WWE run, which I think more than likely is a lock, you know, after the WWE run, if it's only there for like 6 months or 2 years or whatever, AEW is going to call him back up and be like, all right, buddy, let's have you in. I do think it's very interesting, like the money aspect for AEW about like, you know, because presumably they don't have enough money. There was like a report from Wrestling Observer saying that there's a high-end WWE wrestler that was like, they were offered an AEW contract and they don't think that AEW will ever be able to, or that contract that they were offered, whatever, they don't think they'll ever be able to hit the highest of contract offers WWE can offer, which is totally true.
Well, that's
yeah. But I'm thinking to myself, like watching, like, you know, Danielson and CM Punk coming in, like the report saying that Jericho and CM Punk are the highest paid wrestlers in AEW. You know, seeing all this stuff, and Cody probably being like, "Hey, I want part of that pie as well," which you know, I don't blame him. I also don't blame TK for not giving him the whole pie because, as far as we know, Cody. Well, there's the whole other aspect that Cody is also an executive of the company, so we have an executive of the company leaving.
Yeah.
But because he's no longer like the booker. Does he really need to get that EVP money? Really? Like, why don't you just pay him as a wrestler?
Yeah.
But then that also makes me concerned for Omega and the Young Bucks at the end of their contract extension. And then there's also the other thing of...
I think they'll be fine.
I think they'll be fine too.
They're more important. No offense, but they are more important.
Can I also just bring this up real quick? Because I've been thinking about this a lot. It has nothing really to do with anything. It's maybe kind of a diss, but I think it's a fair diss. Cody does not have the ace title anymore in AEW, right? You know, he hasn't had it for a while. But I think Cody has more value in the company to me as a fan than Chris Jericho.
Well, yeah.
But we gave Chris Jericho the contract extension, the last contract extension, and not Cody. I'm saying if I was TK, I would have flipped it. I would have let Jericho walk if he wanted to, give him a different deal if he wanted to, and then give the extension to Cody. I think Cody, despite everything that in the company, I think he has way more value in the company than Chris Jericho has. I the same points we made at Cody Rhodes
currently,
saying,
absolutely.
Yeah, the same points we made at Cody
Rhodes when
they
started, different.
Yeah. The points about how Jericho Cody isn't someone that like is as important, you know, he's making stars or whatever. Jericho has gotten to the point of like also just being kind of annoying on the show. but both guys were draws. So it's like, to me it's like, to me it almost came down to like, do I pick Jericho or Cody? And I would have picked Cody to stay if I was TK.
Well, the report of the highest paid was Chris Jericho and CM Punk.
Yeah.
That was a report this week. And one I'm in agreement with you. I think if you look at both of them, I enjoyed at least as of the last couple weeks, months, whatever. I enjoyed when Cody was on the show for the most part.
Yeah.
Every time Chris Jericho was on the show, I kind of want to shut it off. Like he's legitimately bringing it down. And I think Tony Khan needs to know that Chris Jericho is going to go back to WWE and retire. Like that's happening. That's it's the truth. And it should happen. That's what should happen. He should not end his career in AEW. No offense.
But him going back to WWE hurts AEW less than I think Cody going to WWE.
It sure does. It sure does. But Chris Jericho probably doesn't get in many fights with them or anything. And that's the truth.
That's probably the difference. That's probably the difference right there. The $1 million difference.
Cody's 36 years old. He's right in his prime. He has a lot of good years left if he wants to. And yeah, I'm definitely in agreement with you. I have this last point, then we can move on, of course.
Sure.
Is if you look at the AEW roster right now, right? They had All Out, maybe the best pay-per-view ever for the AEW, one of the best ever overall in wrestling. Cody didn't touch that shit.
No.
Cody was an afterthought. Cody wasn't thought of on that show. He was not part of it.
But if I'm not mistaken, wasn't that the birth of his daughter?
Yeah, I believe so. Birth of his daughter, and I think he was away taping.
I'm gonna look into that.
Or the next big show.
But you're right. Ultimately, he wasn't on the show.
He wasn't on the show. And what they managed to do was get people talking, get people into it. He was the bad part of Full Gear. That match was useless. Let's be serious here. That tag match was nothing.
That was bad.
No one cared about it.
It's a bad match.
We have reached the point in AEW where they don't need Cody Rhodes. And Cody Rhodes doesn't need them. That's why this is happening. Think of all the baby faces on AEW right now, Ryan, that are or have gone above Cody Rhodes in the past year. Hangman Page, CM Punk, Eddie Kingston. Like, do you want to talk about a guy that's just, kind of used AEW to the best of his ability by just being him? John Moxley.
That pop from last Wednesday for Eddie Kingston?
Maybe
unbelievable.
I went back and I watched it a few times and I was like, this is one of the biggest pops we've seen in a very long time. Like, debut or not, doesn't matter. Yeah. This was massive. But look, I just named 4 right there that I think are, just far and away above Cody right now. And there's so many others. There is the Pillars, Darby Allin, there's Jungle Boy, who people love. The entire roster right now is stacked. Let's just be serious.
And I'll add
Wardlow.
I'll add into there is that, look at the amount of people that have signed or are planning to sign with the company since, kind of the news broke out, right? Keith Lee, Nick Wayne, that's a prospect, but Nick Wayne, Swerve, Buddy Matthews, Jeff Hardy, at the same breath of I would have taken Cody Rhodes over Jericho. I mean, either way, you got 5 people coming into your roster by kicking off one person's contract.
Going to be one of your biggest baby faces. That's Jeff Hardy.
Swerve is going to be a big baby face. Swerve can also play heel. Nick Wayne is a huge prospect. Buddy Matthews is going to be a great addition to House of Torture, whatever it is, House of Black.
House of Torture.
Let's put Buddy Matthews in hot, right? I mean, that's what we need. That's ultimately what we need.
Before we move on, I just wanted to bring up one more point.
Sure. It's a huge news story. I don't blame you, man.
It'll be interesting to see what happens to the Cody guys on the roster.
Who do you define as the Cody guys? Like Preston Vance?
Ricky Starks.
He's
a big Cody guy.
MJF?
And I think MJF will be fine, but I think those, he's not leaving anytime soon.
Are you concerned at all about Cody being an executive going to WWE?
No. I don't really look at the EVP thing much. I don't, because it hasn't mattered. They've been very adamant, in every report we've seen. Being an EVP is just the title. Kind of like when Triple H made that joke once upon a time, just because you have the title doesn't mean anything. Well, it turned out not to mean anything.
Well, the concern I would have is that he was still there at the inception. I wonder, the question is how much does he know? He didn't have the power necessarily, but he might know commercial deals and TV contract deals and contract price deals with all the wrestlers.
I don't think that's something Cody would just spew out. And I think especially over the last couple months, he probably knows a lot less than we're probably he seems to have pushed out of the bubble.
Yeah.
And I think everyone was. I think this is all TK now, when it comes to booking, when it comes to those types of deals, it just seems like it's a TK thing now.
Yeah.
And it should be, let's be honest, it should be a TK thing. It shouldn't be a top roster members know these types of things. I'm sure CM Punk doesn't give a shit. He's probably I'm here. I don't care.
Yeah, and even if it was the top roster members, Cody, Omega, Bucks, booking stuff along with TK, at some point they were gonna, either leave the company or just retire, and then it'll eventually just become TK. So it's this is all headed this direction.
Right. And that's why it's okay that I think he's taken over overall.
Yeah,
and
it's been a good show.
It's a fun topic.
It's been a good show for Dynamite for several years. So am I upset about it? No. I mean, he's been doing a good job.
Ryan, 2 weeks ago was one of the best Dynamites ever.
Last week, this past week.
This past week was really good.
Yeah, this past week was very strong.
Cody wasn't on them. I think they're gonna be okay. AEW is gonna be fine.
AEW is gonna be 100% fine.
I think it's more so will Cody be okay, and I don't know, so we'll just have to wait and see. But nice big story. It's definitely not a swerve for those who like to is it a swerve? No, I don't think it's a swerve.
I'll be honest. I was the guy in the work camp at the very beginning. Ultimately, and to be fair, that work camp at the very beginning for a lot of people is the first stage of grief. It was a lot of denial. So that's really what the work outcry was people just be there's no way this is true. Because to me, the big red flag was going to WWE. I was there's no way that part of it is true. I can see him not renewing a contract, but going to WWE, what the hell are you talking about? And then you think about it and you're okay, that's really the only place he could go if he wanted to go anywhere. it's just at the very beginning, because at the very beginning there was all these other like red flags. There's the Sammy Guevara vlog bit. There's the the EVPs were getting better along. There's all this other stuff that this is how much money they make. There's all these other things that are like that eventually been red flags, but as time proceeds, it doesn't look like it is much of anything. And then this also the recent retirement Instagram post is very much like another red flag of like, what is this? What does this mean?
I do think he wants to retire from the ring before like the age of 45.
Yeah.
Next chapter, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Cody Rhodes, how about that? He continues to make news. And this is, of course, one of the biggest news bites in a very long time.
What percentage of a lock do you think Cody Rhodes in WWE is?
95.
I'm gonna go like 75, 80.
I think
he's
pretty locked in.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
I don't think he leaves unless he has that deal.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's definitely like he's going. If he doesn't get like the massive amount of money, then I don't know. I mean, he could easily still come back to AEW. I mean, because here's the thing: like, what if this is all real and all this stuff? But what if Cody Rhodes returns face of the Revolution ladder match? Boom! Huge news item, huge news story. Right? That would blow your socks off.
He doesn't fit the bill. Sorry.
No, he's not a hoss. But what if he comes back as a hoss? What if in these couple of weeks he just puts on a bunch of weight, puts on a bunch of gains, hoss battle in the ladder cage? That's nothing. Is ladder cage something? Maybe is that a match?
No. Could be.
Well, look. Well, or he just stays small. And maybe gets a little smaller because the hosses need someone. Well, the hosses need someone to throw someone around.
All right, Ray Phoenix exists.
That's true. That's true. Well, let's move on. There was also another, along with the Stone Cold news, I guess, another big return to the ring coming up over on the other side of the sea. Stardom has officially revealed their mystery gal. It happened to be Kairi, former Kairi Hojo, Kairi Sane from WWE, is back in Stardom, just as Kairi. Scotty, you have been ecstatic all weekend about Kairi's return, not only to wrestling, but to Stardom. What do you think?
Yeah. If anyone has watched Kairi Sane, you have no idea how good Kairi is at wrestling. You don't. She was very good as Kairi Sane. But when she was Kairi Hojo, she was one of the best. And this is huge because how many times, right, Ryan, do you see a wrestler of pretty, notable name go to WWE and they'll go back to their much smaller promotion that is now growing to becoming a major, big promotion? This is very unique because a lot of the time you'll get like, I don't know, say EC3, he goes to Impact, bets on himself, does really well, goes back to WWE, gets released, goes back. Kairi didn't get released. Like, and everyone needs to know that Kairi did not get released. She stayed there. She's all nice words about WWE because they let her go home.
Mm-hmm. Let her go home, and her contract ran out.
Yeah. They let her go home, and now she is going back to, if AEW is the hottest company in the world, Kairi's going back to the number 2 hottest company in the world, and she's joining a roster that just had one of the best years a all-women's promotion has had in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And the beauty of all this is she's wrestled like 3 people on this current roster.
Yeah.
And now she's not only back, but she's in the mix.
Yeah.
They took 16 minutes, Ryan, to put her into the mix of this roster. She already feels like a roster member.
She has multiple matches lined up already.
Yeah, she's got her entire Ryogoku Sumo Hall show, and her being there only helps Stardom.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fans that know Kairi from her WWE days. One, they have no idea about her Stardom days. They just probably have never seen them.
International star bringing more eyes to Stardom. That at the end of the day, that is what's happening.
This is the second biggest person you can bring in.
Oh, sorry.
I think the second part, number one, because Io Shirai is at one point she was Stardom, but the excitement is she's gonna have matches she's never had before. She's seemingly going back to. We'll see how full time it is. I don't know if she's gonna be on every house show, but she's back. This isn't all right, I'm gonna wrestle this one show, then go off into the sunset. And I'm happy she's going to be able to go off into the sunset in the right promotion in her own way, rather than just being attacked by Bayley in the middle of the performance center with no fans. Like that was something that, I think that's part of why I'm so excited alone is she gets to finish it her own way. She's in the shape of her life. If anyone hasn't seen the pictures,
those guns, dude.
Yeah.
She's
that's what happens when you
jacked.
open your own gym. She is absolutely jacked out of her mind.
Yeah.
She
plus like
she has her first match.
Plus like a year or two of healing.
Yeah.
You
which is big time for her. She has a lot of miles. She may not have many years, but those Stardom matches she was having, if you watch them, you're like, oh, I understand why you took retirement instead.
Yeah.
WWE. Like when she wrestles in Stardom, she goes all in, and she already has a match. She already has her first match. That's how long they took, and she's facing Tam Nakano, Unagi Sayaka, because Unagi's gonna assess over here. Unagi, by the way, played stupid. She had no idea what WWE was when Kairi said it. She was like, I don't know what that is.
The Tomohiro Ishii effect. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about.
And it's just exciting. It's so much of it is exciting. And
yeah,
it's like it's the opposite of the Cody thing. Like Cody's leaving, and that was the big news. The big news here is this is a big power move for Stardom that they were able to bring in Kairi.
Yeah.
Because let's remember, Kenny Omega said if AEW had their first pick for the women's division, it would have been Kairi.
Yeah.
But she wants to be back in Japan, first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they were able to bring her back, probably give her a boatload of money still. She's probably getting paid very well. And she's going to only just help this roster grow. Kairi's coming in. And
you're telling me that AEW, when borders open and COVID is at least better, maybe in the summer, AEW is not going to shove a boatload of cash Kairi's way to be like, hey.
I don't think she will.
Well, no, just be like, hey, show up once, one match, face. I don't know, Britt. I don't know.
I mean, Bea Priestley was on AEW and she was World of Stardom champion, so you never know.
Yeah. Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter. Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus Thunder Rosa and Kairi.
Why not? I forgot to add, Kairi, by the way, is teaming with Mayu Iwatani at that first show, which, personal reasons aside, that is the most exciting possible thing. Mm-hmm. I don't care. Singles matches are great and all, but we'll get those. It's so exciting.
Yeah. Plus
Stardom made the move.
Plus the continued expansion of Stardom. You bring in Kairi. It was an international well-known name. There's other former people from Stardom that you can bring in that are going to bring in that international flavor. You can bring in Toni Storm. I know Scotty isn't necessarily hot about it, but she is now a bigger name, and also she used to work in Stardom, so they could easily bring her in. If Io Shirai eventually gets out of her contract, she can come over. There's the hottest free agent you can also sign from AEW. Brandy Rhodes is also available, so you can bring her in to Stardom. Former Stardom talent, you can bring her in. So these are all things are possible and more.
The reason Stardom's so popular and so on fire right now is because they don't have bad agents on the roster. I'm not kidding.
I mean, they got rid of the COVID. Kind of got rid of all of them.
Yeah, but like it's allowed them to have to trust what they have.
Yeah,
and what they have is amazing.
It's weird that Stardom. Yeah, that's true. Tekla is amazing. It's weird that like Stardom is able to achieve that so perfectly, whereas another company for a very long time, New Japan, had a deal with their own roster, and it's just like nothing's quite working with these guys. I don't know what it is. Except for the last two nights, Scotty, because the last two nights were outstanding, weren't they? I mean, the last two nights were of Golden Series. Holy crap, dude. What great... New Japan back? Is New Japan back?
I left the main event of, I guess, technically today, even though I did not go to bed before I watched it. I did not know how early it was on. I was like, oh, New Japan's on now? Like, usually they don't start till like 4 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
And the show was over before 3:30. So that was pretty cool. I walked away from the main event. I was like, I think the New Japan we all love is like it's almost back.
Oh, almost.
Almost, because you still have to work through the limited roster and whatnot. But Japan has opened its borders, I saw this week, so that's a start.
And did you hear? Did you miss this announcement?
The New Japan Cup?
New Japan Cup.
Oh, yeah, the 48
participants of the New Japan Cup. If I have never seen a bigger announcement,
36 roster members.
Yeah, I've never seen a bigger announcement of 100%. We're bringing in outside talent for this thing. There's the possibilities are there. You got AEW talent, you got Impact talent, you got Strong talent, you got Noah talent, All Japan talent. I think I saw somewhere that All Japan and New Japan are finally doing a show soon.
Yeah, they're doing a 50th anniversary show.
So you can bring All Japan, New Japan, Noah, Strong, AEW, Impact. I don't know. MLW. Who gives a shit? Let's bring them all in for this thing. Let's bring in juniors. Let's bring in Leo Rush. Why not? Let's just bring in everybody, Why not? I mean, they could easily just have juniors in the show, I guess, in New Japan Cup too. I still
think Jay White won't be in it. Like, I saw the announcement, I was like, I have no hope that Jay White's going to be in this. But
we'll get to him too.
A lot of great wrestlers are going to be in this.
How disappointed would he be if no non-Japanese talent are in it?
I think Osprey's a lock, so I'll be fine.
Then I'll rephrase it. How upsetting would he be if American talent were in it? We're not in it. If you don't see anyone from Strong, you don't see anyone from AEW, even Impact, even MLW, even I don't know, NWA, like any other thing. Yeah. How upset would he be if you saw none of them in New Japan Cup?
I think I would be mildly upset. I mean, there's a lot of talent in Japan. If they're going to work with other people that will make this work. I mean, Go Shiozaki in the New Japan Cup.
Losing first round. Losing first round to Evil.
Put him against someone good if you want to do that. If they want, if no one wants him to keep losing, you just do that.
Yeah. He could actually be in the New Japan Cup and lose first round.
Yeah,
I never thought about that. But he could totally do it
against Shingo, and like no one would bat an eye. He'd be like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
like cool." It's exciting though. Like we're not even talking about the actual wrestling that just happened for New Japan, and they still have their cracks. Like not every show from top to bottom is good.
No,
and that's because they're expanding them as much as they can for as many tickets as they can, which is fine.
Yeah,
but we said it when Wrestle Kingdom happened. If you combine those two shows and just make one supercard, it's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really how New Japan's been working as of late. 48 people. It's exciting. It's very exciting. You have, I mean, we're going to know by the end of today.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Is it end of
Like,
today or is it end of tomorrow?
Well, they said it was tomorrow, but like tomorrow in Japan is now. So like tomorrow in Japan is in 8 minutes, I think.
Tomorrow
So
in Japan is the best phrase of that. To me, that's the quote of the week. Tomorrow in
thank
Japan
you,
is
thank
now.
you. But man, it's so exciting. Like New Japan has gotten to the point where they're like, okay, we're struggling here. Okay, we gave Okada the title. Step 1, nailed it. Awesome, perfect. Step 2, let's work with everybody again. Let's stop being, all about us and there's nobody else. Let's just do this. It's working. It's creating buzz. It's creating excitement. New Japan Cup is one of my favorite events of the year in wrestling. I love tournaments, so that helps.
I talked about this last week too. It's like the event that brings me back into New Japan after Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah. And last year's New Japan Cup was great.
Yeah.
And they didn't have their full. Well, they had Jay and they had Ospreay, but I mean, David Finlay went to the freaking semifinals, and it was great. Like the whole entire thing was great. It was not 48 people, but it was great.
It's gonna be a long ass thing.
I looked at the events. There are a lot of New Japan Cup shows, and I'm like, well, they're not gonna have like a Road to New Japan Cup final show in this, so. These are all like tournament matches, which they have to clearly stretch out, seeing there will be 24 first round matchups.
There are 12. Oh, sorry, my mistake. 15 nights of New Japan Cup, spanning.
That's by far the most ever.
Oh my god, spanning practically the entire March for them. The entire March. It is literally March is the anniversary event on the 1st of March. Then from the 2nd to the 27th, all New Japan Cup. The only other non-New Japan Cup happening in between that is a strong taping.
Interesting.
It is New Japan March Madness season, baby. Get those brackets ready. We're the madness
do
going
next week. I'm assuming we get the full bracket, right?
You're right. We'll
not
probably
just participants.
Yes, probably. I mean,
I'm gonna print one out. I'm gonna fill it out, and we're gonna go through it on.
I'm gonna set up a whiteboard. So I'm gonna be real in depth with it.
You're gonna be like that picture of like Charlie Day. He's like when he's like pointing at the thing.
But let's talk about New Japan Golden Series. Obviously, they had 2 great nights for the past 2 nights. I didn't watch the 15th night, which was the one this morning for us. But Scotty has. But I did watch last night.
Well, the bad thing is I did watch it, so I was late to the show.
It happens. It happens. No worries, Scotty. So let's talk about New Japan Golden Series Night 14. A bunch of tag matches. Did you watch any of the tag matches?
No.
Well, let's get into the title matches, which was the most important stuff on the card, which was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title match. It became a 4-way, I believe.
I woke up to this and there was 2 other teams.
Yeah, we previewed this last week and it was 2 teams and now it's 4. And the winners of this match were not even announced a week ago. Those were the team of 649, Master Wato and Ryusuke Taguchi, defeating El Phantasmo, Taiji Ishimori, Robbie Eagles, Tiger Mask, and El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I got it in there.
Yeah. I like that New Japan is doing this with the juniors because, listen, the junior division is very exciting right now. But if you put a bunch of tag teams in there that are going to do crazy shit, probably going to get a good match. That's what you got here. Yeah. Ryusuke Taguchi is now the 69th IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion and the 69th IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion.
Mm-hmm.
So, nice. Master Wato gets his first title of his career, which is, I think, pretty deserving after what he's been doing as of late, and it continues his build. I think learning from Taguchi is not a bad place to learn. Taguchi has a long successful career in.
That's not the only thing. That's not the only thing. That's
all right. That's enough.
What, man? Too early to be this blue.
A little bit, but he's got a successful career. Master Wato learned.
Speaking of blue, Master Wato,
he is blue. Yeah, But yeah, cool, awesome.
I think Mr. Master Water looked good in here. I mean, to be fair, it was like a lucha style tag match where there was no tags whatsoever. People just came in and out. And there was 8 people in it, so a lot of hide in Watto, but the stuff that he did in there was very good. I thought everything in there was very strong. Tiger Mask, boy howdy, Tiger Mask, just outstanding still. Can you believe it? Just very, very good at what he does.
It's the year of the tiger, isn't it?
Probably.
I think it is.
And just a lot of good exchanges all around. I mean, there's nothing that really like stuck out to me, but
No,
everyone did outstanding stuff. The what was it? The Robbie Eagles, El
Hurricane
Phantasmo, Hurricane Rana into the crowd of people
Yeah.
was very strong. But yeah,
no, that's in the United States.
Oh, my mistake.
Okay.
But this was it was a very good match. I really enjoyed it.
Sorry. Yeah, I think adding 2 more teams definitely made it far more. I was not going to watch it if it was just the 2 teams, but I saw that it became a cluster, and I was like, well, we don't love a nice cluster.
Yeah, to 100%. Next up was the IWGP Tag Team match. It was Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi defeating House of Torture to retain those titles. I thought this was very good. Not as good as the 4-way, but I thought it was pretty good. What I did like about this the most was that Yoshihashi and Goto and all of Chaos of Yo and Ishii there not putting up with Evil and Yujiro's BS. You know, it started with that lumberjack match, and here it just continued. Like having.
Did you watch that lumberjack match?
I did watch that lumberjack match. I thought it was pretty good as well.
Evil wrestles.
He can. Who would have thunk it?
They went Haas, and who doesn't love a little Haas?
But that's also what works great, and I think that's what New Japan's realized here with Chaos and House of Torture is that, you know, House of Torture needs to be fought back. Yeah. Like in the match, it needs to be fought back. So, and just because doing the Togo and Show constant nonsense is tiring. But if you get Ishii and Yo to come in there and fight back, it helps. It helps a lot. Yeah. It's something different, something new. It can we can focus more on the evil Ishii or Goto Yoshihashi tag, sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good news for everyone besides like Tanahashi and Ibushi is that they're in a faction, so they should always have help. So that's good. Yeah, the match was pretty good. No like point that I need to like sing praises about. I think it was just, solid. Evil can work still. I think him and Yujiro do work well together when they actually work together. It doesn't happen that much, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was fine. I think Goto and Yoshihashi, now that they're past the House of Torture, is gonna have hopefully a nice little reign here.
Yeah, it definitely feels like on the 3 nights of the lumberjack match, this tag match, and then the next night's 6-man, definitely feels like we're past House of Torture. Or moving on to something
we have
else.
The New Japan Cup now, so
that's true. So they'll probably do Goto versus Yujiro and Evil versus Yoshihashi, in two different spots.
There's Ishii too. So
Ishii versus Dick Togo.
Dick to go.
Dick. Excuse me. Can I have my dick to go? And your main event, of course, was the IWGP US Heavyweight Title match. Sonata defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi in sub 30 to become the new US Heavyweight Champion and get his first ever singles title
in New Japan. He has singles titles, but not in New Japan, which is crazy, by the way. I really, really liked this match. I thought this was the best Sonata match since maybe that G1 final against Ibushi, which was 2020, I believe. 2020 sounds right.
Sounds right.
I think it was probably his best match since then. And he's in there with Tanahashi, so like Tanahashi's a master.
Yeah.
But I thought the way they worked the technical part of the match at the beginning of with the arms and stuff, and how it translated to the end was fantastic. I mean, Tanahashi's still hitting an aces high from the fucking top rope down to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Picture perfect, by the way. Dude's just he's different breed.
I love the transition spot of the Dragon Sleeper into the skull end back and forth. I was like, I like this. I was like, okay, I'm starting to get a little tired of it. But then Tanahashi did the perfect thing of turning it into a twist and shout.
Yeah.
And then another twist and shout. Then Sonata tries to reverse that with like a slingshot suplex, but he gets the slingshot, but then Tanahashi turns it back again into a twist and shout. Oh, it was a great sequence.
That was just good wrestling right there. I love the fact that they could not hit their finishes.
Yeah.
Like Tanahashi kept going for that high fly flow, and the last one he just hit the mat, and Sonata was able to roll him over, get the win.
Mm-hmm.
Good for Sonata, man. Like he's watched Evil, Tetsuya Naito, and Shingo Takagi all win the world title. And I think Naito's not as shocking, but Sonata has been at one point, say, 3 or 4 years ago, I think everyone looked at him and was like, okay, he's going to win the world title sooner rather than later, right? And not only has he not won the world title, he hasn't won anything singles wise. Now he has the US title, which is the equivalent of the IC title back then. It's in that spot now.
I don't think it's quite there yet, but it's definitely getting there. It's on the road.
They have to, keep building it up. But when you have, Tanahashi holding it, you kind of have the idea that this is the next title to get to that level. And I think it's the right choice. I think it's better than having the Never title be that, because I think you just look at this belt and you're like, see, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No offense to the Never title, but it's just not nearly as good looking.
Yeah.
Which matters a lot to me.
And Tanahashi was a good transitional champion because he can work the style. He can do the gnarly extreme match where he goes from, gets it off of Lance Archer, brings it over to the States, loses it to Kenta, wins it back in a deadly contest, and then does a wrestling match. And he's like, okay, let's start making it an IC title sort of situation. Let's start doing that.
Oh, man, Tanahashi. I mean, I want to give more credit to Sonata because it was a really good work match by him. He actually had that fire you look for in him.
Yeah. He's starting to get it, baby. He's took him long enough. I feel like we've been talking about it for like 6 years.
The thing about Sonata is, right, you see him have these matches where he's like, oh, this is the Sonata. And then the next match he'll have is like, oh, this is Sonata.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is happening? Because I've liked Sonata for a long time, but I'll admit, like, there are many inconsistencies. And it's funny because that's like the Master Wato story, where he's like, he could show signs of like greatness, and then he's like, I think that's more of Sonata's story than anything else. Like, it takes a little bit to get out of him, but once he does it, he has a great match. And I mean, again, having Tanahashi in there just helps. It does the world of good. Yeah. He's 45 years old, but he is still one of the best.
Oh yeah, Tanahashi's
Go Ace.
Good. Go Ace, baby.
But also, congrats to Sonata.
Yeah,
long time coming. The title looks great on him, by the way. Random thing. I looked at it, I was like, man, it fits. I like it.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm not, you know this. I'm not the biggest Sonata guy. I'm very happy that he got this title. I'm very happy that we're starting to transition the US title into an IC sort of title position, mid-card title position.
Higher mid-card.
Yes, I'm interested to see where we go from here. What the next couple matches are. Will we get Sonata at Windy City Riot?
Yeah, that was the most interesting part to me. Tanahashi losing it, because I thought for sure he was going to be on that show.
Me too. I mean, I'm sure he's still gonna be on that show, but now I'm like, Sonata. Who else? Sonata channel. Let's do Sonata. I don't know. Fred Rosser, maybe. Let's do it. I don't know. That should be. He's a good match. That's probably still.
I
Gonna
heard
be a good
Fred
match.
Rosser versus Gabe Kid was nice this week on Strong.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. Yeah, because that was the Strong that had also Jay Lethal and Jay White.
Yes, the good Jay and the bad Jay.
Yes, the Terminus situation, the match that ruined the Terminus card.
You say ruin, I say helped. Actually, no, that show was terrible.
hard to tell. Hard to tell.
Hard to kill. Sorry, that's it back.
Actually, what we're going to be talking about is No Surrender, but not yet. We're going to talk about New Japan Night 15 of Golden Series, the finale night.
I only watched one match.
You only watched the one match. Okay, well,
that's all I need.
Well, very quickly, do you want the spoilers? Do you care at all?
I do not give a shit.
Okay,
I'll probably never watch it.
House of Torture retained the Never 6-man titles. There we go. So that means House of Torture versus Chaos in this sort of 3-night feud of lumberjack tag and 6 tag. House of Torture 2-1. There you go, baby. House of Torture. And then the dog cage match, New Japan King of Pro Wrestling title.
I already know who won.
Toriyama wins. Defeats Menorah.
You know why I knew that was going to happen?
Why is that?
You know why?
Why is that?
Because Minoru Suzuki said, I'm going back to the United States. Goodbye.
Just bring the KOP title over with you. You're telling me we can't have fun over here? Have fun matches over here? Why not?
I think you'll have fun anyways.
That would be great, because then he could propose like crazy matches, and then he can put the title on the line at Bloodsport in like a Pancrest match.
Now you're going to just randomly get like Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston instead. So,
great! Now I'm gonna get Minoru Suzuki versus Eddie Kingston
with no stupid cup to ruin it.
Man, I wanted to see them in, I don't know, some sort of, I don't know, baby bib match. I don't know what that is, but both men wear a baby bib and diapers to the ring. First one to poop their pants wins.
Remind me never to make you a promoter.
But of course, the main event, the one that's being talked about today, IWGP World Heavyweight Title match. Kazuchika Okada retains against Tetsuya Naito. Sub 30.
Man, they made a clapping crowd feel like the loudest fucking crowd today, and when you put Okada and Naito together, you should only expect greatness. You shouldn't expect anything less.
Mm-hmm.
But the way they worked this match, man, like, you know, they did the feeling each other out. You know, there was some money clip in there, but a lot of it was necessary, you know, action, high paced, big moves. There was one point, there was a DDT Okada hit where Naito was standing on top of his head on the apron, and then he fell. And then Okada proceeded to do the hanging DDT to the outside right after. That was great. And, I mean, they had the near fall of near falls, Ryan. Near falls of near falls. The Naito hit a Destino, and then this motherfucker goes, you know what, power slam, Stardust press time, and he hit it.
Oh man,
he hit it, and it's great. It's so great. It's I don't know if it's probably not my match of the year, but it's up there.
Ooh.
And I don't know if it was
really?
The excitement of watching it live. Maybe that has to do with it. I think watching it live, going in unspoiled without anything, is really, it's better.
Yeah.
It's better.
Sure.
Like, you watch that Stardust press and I jumped out of my chair. Like I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And like I knew, we knew Naito wasn't winning.
Yeah.
But man, he's so good at making you think he might. And I don't know how many times we're gonna get these two together again. So yeah, I'm just gonna appreciate when we do. Because they've wrestled now 11 total times in singles action. And Okada now has the lead 6-5. But we know Naito's on his final legs, but
quite literally.
Yeah. I will never get mad at this guy for wearing a t-shirt and going 50% in his tag matches.
Yeah.
Because it's when you put him in this type of match that he goes all out and you just
yeah.
love it.
I rather have 50% Naito in tag matches that no one's watching versus 75% Naito in the main event. Does that make sense?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good point. I promise you got 100% Naito in this one.
I can't wait. I can't wait to watch that match. I've only heard rave reviews online. I've only heard obviously your rave review here. Like, God, I just can't wait. And then now we got the anniversary event around the corner for Okada versus
Desperado.
El Desperado, baby, which should also be a great match.
I made the pitch that they change the rules of heavyweight versus junior heavyweight. It's the 50th anniversary show. You just should have said fuck it, and you should have did Okada versus Tanahashi. That is your 50. That is your 50 years. No offense to all the years before they showed up, but that is like your defining feud. That is your defining match. How many do you have left? I don't know. They're probably going to save it for Dominion or the random Tokyo Dome show they have this year. They're going to save it for one of the two, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But why not? Like, I mean, Okada versus Desperado should be pretty good. I'm not going to put, Okada's back.
It does. Doesn't that match feel like there should be some sort of angle after the match is over? Like Okada's obviously winning that match. 50th anniversary.
You need something.
Surely something's gonna happen, right?
You need something juicy. You don't want just like,
it's gonna be a great match. I mean, that's not my complaint. My thing is like, New Japan Cup around the corner. Maybe we get some strong guys coming in. The day after. Some strong guys coming in, maybe. I don't know. Ospreay, maybe. Jay White would be great.
Oh man,
I don't know, man.
I've seen 2 Jay White matches this week. I'm gonna watch a third probably later today. Fucking miss that dude.
He's great. Watching Jay White wrestle not in New Japan made me realize how tall Jay White is.
Yeah. He's also a lot skinnier now.
Yeah. It feels like it. Either that or the TV or the people he's wrestling against. Like, I saw him standing next to Carl Anderson, and I was like, holy crap, Jay White's tiny.
Yeah. He's great.
It's great.
He's great. And, I mean, Jay White had your match of the year last year, so you should be wanting him back more than anyone.
100% I want him back. I think he's just outstanding wrestler.
Wants him back, though.
Yeah.
He's a very different wrestler from everyone else.
Yes.
I thought he worked 2 very good matches.
He is a great wrestler because he provides a wildly different match from the rest of the card. Not wildly different, but a different match from the rest of the card. And that's part of the reason why everyone's missing the non-Japanese talent is not only, you get different names and see different people, but they provide something different to the card in terms of wrestling match style. Bringing Moxley in is way different than anyone else. Bringing White in is way different than anybody else. Bringing Ospreay in is different. Seeing these guys, we want to see these different kind of match styles because at the end of the day, a lot of these guys have all been trained by the same person, and I want to see something different.
Switchblade.
But Okada and Naito, I can't wait to see that.
Oh, you're gonna love it. I don't want to.
Can you reveal to us? Can you reveal to us how many stars?
4 3/4.
Ooh,
I might have went a little higher.
Couldn't quite get there.
No, but I probably went a little higher than most. I think you have to remember, I had just worked an 8-hour shift and I was in the middle of watching Impact, and then I went right to this, and I was like, okay,
here we go,
this
baby.
is so much better.
Strap in.
And then I watched it live. So I do think watching it live and experiencing all those goods, like I really wish I didn't tell you about the Stardust press. I really wish I didn't say it. Like I as soon as I said it, I wish I took it back because that's fucking awesome. But I mean, you know who won, so
yes. Don't worry, I'll forget. I'll forget.
It takes away from. I mean, you knowing who won definitely takes away from it a little bit, but it's still great. What are you doing?
I'm trying to forget.
Oh, okay. You'll probably. I'm guessing you go 4 1/4.
All right. 4 1/4. I'm going low on it. Just going. That's pretty great. Pretty great.
I've seen mostly 4.5, 4 1/4. Saw a few 5s. But I'm just thinking, like, not watching it live.
What if I told you I recently watched the match and rated it 4.5 stars?
You already watched it?
I didn't watch that match. There was a different match that I rated recently 4.5 stars.
From this past week?
From this past week. Let's move on to our next topic. Impact No Surrender.
It better not be from this fucking show.
I assume neither of us watched the countdown show, so we're just going to skip right over it.
Not a shot.
How much of the show did you watch?
I watch a lot. I watched the first match, the second match, the third match. Saw the angle after God and Good Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Refused to watch Mickey James and Tasha Steelz because I'm so against Mickey James for some reason that I was like, nope. And I already know you're going to beat Tasha Steelz, so I don't want to see it.
Sure.
I skipped something else too.
Moose and Morrissey.
No, I watched that. That slapped.
Did you skip
Big Boys?
Cardona Grace?
No, I watched that too.
Did you watch the main event? Honor No More.
I did. I was rattled when that was the main event. Moose is yet to main event a pay-per-view since winning the title.
Well, let's start with the main event. Honor No More. Defeats the team of Honor No More, Kenny King, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, PCO, and Vincent defeat Chris Sabin, Rhino, Rich Swann, Steve Macklin, and Willie Mack. When
K-I-N-G King.
Thank you. I missed my bit. When Eddie Edwards, who was originally going to be on this match for Team Impact, came out of nowhere and turned on his Impact brothers and joined up with Honor No More. He was the guy letting them through in the back door. Not Gresham, not Ian Riccoboni. It was Eddie Edwards.
You almost said Eddie Kingston, didn't you?
I forgot his name. I actually wasn't going to say Eddie at all. I forgot his name. For a half a second, I was like, what was it? So what did you think of this match? And what did you think of the angle following?
I thought the match was pretty crazy. Yeah. A lot of crazy shit going on. It's a big cluster. You get 5-on-5, so hard to follow everything. But I thought it was really entertaining. I thought the angle was perfect because if you pay attention to one, Eddie Edwards has been boring as shit for like years now.
Yes.
As this like good guy with the kendo stick. So this was great for him.
They tried to make him Impact's ace. Never worked. No. Finally, they turn him, and finally has a different sort of edge that can be given to him.
Yeah. If you know who Eddie Edwards is and where he began, this does make a lot of sense of the whole I'm siding with Ring of Honor type thing.
Been in Ring of Honor for years.
Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty cool way to go with it, and he absolutely obliterated everyone with that damn kendo stick, so that was cool. I like the angle. I like the angle a lot. I mean, this show was, another good pay-per-view-ish show by Impact, which I'll give credit where credit's due. I thought this was definitely. I thought the whole entire thing was a home run.
Yeah, I thought this entire show was really good. I thought this main event was really good, honestly. I thought the swerve, it was the second swerve of the night in terms of like betrayal stuff, so it didn't quite hit as hard for me. But in terms of
That's true.
but in terms of some of interesting stuff, I think this turn was more interesting in terms of the Impact viewership than, of course, the Jay White God one. Just based on the Impact faithful alone.
Ain't nobody really than Gorilla. Sorry.
The crowd was super into it. I thought this match was pretty good. Like I said, this now means Honor No More can stay in their promotion. I have to imagine that we're going to get an element of this match. I don't know in what fashion over at the Ring of Honor show in April, the Supercard show. I don't know what it means. Maybe we'll see Eddie Edwards back in Ring of Honor. That could be something. Maybe if Ring of Honor is no longer doing contracts, maybe we pick up a guy that's been on the indies for a bit that doesn't want to sign a contract.
Eddie Edwards versus Chris Sabin makes a lot of sense for a Ring of Honor show.
Or let's heighten the stakes. Make it a tag match.
I like steak.
Make it a tag match.
I don't think anyone said let's heighten the stakes and say let's make it a tag.
Well, you're saying Eddie Edwards versus Chris Sabin, and I say, what if we did American Wolves versus Motor City Machine Guns?
Oh, that raised the stakes. You were lying. Oh, that'd be amazing. I would love that. I would love that so much.
If Ring of Honor is not doing contracts, we can 100% do that match.
And Alex Shelley can do that.
Alex Shelley would totally do that. Davey Richards would do that. They've been teaming already on the indies.
Yeah, just Pro Wrestling Revolver for some reason.
Yeah.
Only Pro Wrestling Revolver.
Yeah.
That I'm sold. I'm buying what you're selling. I don't have any other things.
I think it's perfect. I think it would be perfect. I think it would be a nice sort of return of Ring of Honor history.
You can't say anything's perfect with Impact. We got to be careful here. They haven't had something perfect in a long time.
Speaking of perfect, Moose versus W. Morrison. Did that break you?
This is good.
Yeah, it was a good match. I thought. I mean, it wasn't a bad match by any means. I thought it was good. It was a Haas match. I like the table spot, the Uranagi through the table.
It was a Goldberg match. It wasn't a Haas match. It was a Goldberg
that might
match.
Be true.
They hit 3 moves each.
That might be true, actually. That would be true.
Big boot, spear. Big boot, spear. Powerbomb, spear.
Chop.
Powerbomb. Chop. Slap.
Elbow.
Powerbomb. Spear. It's over.
I speared you.
I enjoyed it, though. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was a good match. Like I said, I like the Uranagi through the table. I thought that was a good
W.
spot.
Morrissey, good.
W. Morrissey good.
Should have won.
I'm glad you picked up on that spot about how Moose has not main evented anything since he's held the title.
Yeah, you fucking mid motherfucker.
I've never seen a guy who needs that title less in Impact than Moose. He is.
I have no idea who's gonna beat him now because the guy that we all thought left. So
that is not only left the company, is gone now. And I thought W. Morrissey would have been the perfect person to beat him. I think W. Morrissey would actually be great with this title.
Sucks to suck, Ryan.
And now I'm sitting here like, well, who the heck? Like, it's like the thing of,
I'm Matt Taven. He's going to be Impact World Champion.
This might be a very strange comparison, but bear with me here.
Okay.
Moose having the title is a lot like Trevor Murdoch having the NWA title in the sense.
Oh my god!
Stay with me. Stay with me.
Moose.
Stay with me. In the sense that with them having the title and looking at the rest of the roster, you're like, I have no idea who's going to take this title. It feels like no one on the current roster is going to take the title off of Moose. If it's not Morrissey.
The right person beat Trevor Murdoch, so I'm going to hope the right person beats Moose.
Yeah. And by that, you mean PCO. You mean Vincent.
Let me give a quick prediction of who beats.
Sure. Sure. Do you think if anyone that's on the roster, do you think who can take
It
the
should
title?
be someone in the opening match, but it won't be from the show because all 4 of them are fucking awesome. I have no fucking clue. I'm not gonna give you a prediction.
What about Jay White?
I literally asked you last week, does Jay White win the world title? And you told me no.
Okay. Well, so I'm asking you the question then. Do you think Jay White?
No, I don't think, but I hope that that New Japan Cup announcements tomorrow says J. White in one of the slots.
It's gonna say M. Oos. Mickie James versus Tasha Steelz for the Impact Knockouts title match. You said you didn't watch the match. I did.
No, I don't fucking watch Mickie James matches anymore. They're always a letdown.
This was
hardcore country. I'm mid as fuck. I'm not a legend.
That kind of became Kingdom by Downstreet. He said,
adrenaline in my soul. Sorry.
It was a pretty good match. Nothing to write home about. It was 10 minutes of kind of like slow stuff. Tasha is not entirely there yet. I think Mickie James is pretty good, but you're right that it's like she's lately had more disappointments than hits. So I don't.
I'm here to say that a different company has the right champion of it with an Impact star. Deonna defended her title on the show.
I was about to say, I was like, you gotta rephrase that completely.
Yeah, I know. She should just have the Impact Knockouts title still.
Well, yeah, I think, however, this is all just gonna lead towards, I talked about this last week. They're basically starting to set up the Mickie James versus Chelsea Green feud.
That's a fucking nightmare.
So they're starting with them being friends, but at some point,
that's truly a nightmare.
Chelsea Green's gonna be obsessive over Mickie James.
Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan.
what's that?
That is a fucking nightmare. Masha Slamovich is right there.
Hardcore country down out.
Let's move on. Let's just move on.
The Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, defeat and retain the Impact. I said IWGP, the Impact World Tag Team titles against God, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa. This match was exactly the same as the Mickie James Tasha Steelz match. It was perfectly okay, perfectly good.
But what matters is the end.
Yeah, what matters was the end. There was a lot of nonsense. A lot of fine matches. Fine match. Chris Bay comes out, distracts the referee, but Tonga Loa is like basically confused as why Chris Bay is there.
The fuck? So
he's distracting the referee, but not seemingly for God. He's confused about it. We all think, oh, they're trying to distract to help him out. God then get attacked by the Good Brothers. More distraction. Stuff happens on the outside. Chris Bay's like, I'm sorry. I meant to help you. Jay White comes out of nowhere, hits the Blade Runner on Tama Tonga, lays him out. The Good Brothers go back in the ring, hit the Magic Killer, win the match, retain the titles. The Good Brothers, Chris Bay, and Jay White stand on top of God at the end. And not only do they stand on top, but they don't do the too sweet under thing. They're just full on too sweet over the heads. OG too sweet.
Impact got a perfect they got a perfect view of Jay White sitting on the apron, just like what I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. Very intriguing. I think that goes without saying of where is this going? Because this is more important for New Japan, long term than anything else. I think my initial thought was you gotta remember like things Tama Tonga has said since Jay White's been specifically back in the US of like what kind of leader is he? He's not here, and like these things have happened. Like there have been stories, and they've because people ask, is Bullet Club fine with the whole House of Torture part, and if you go deeper into that, it's been a lot of, Tamatonga and Tangaloa kind of like, not saying we don't like anyone, but at the same time, it's like, why? Because I remember seeing them back on TV. I was like, but I thought, like, didn't they say something shitty about Jay White? Like, wasn't that part of the next story?
Mhm.
I was like, okay, maybe it wasn't. And I look back, it was, and now we're here. And I don't know why, but I love the fact that Chris Bay is just like part of like it all, because
Yeah.
he hasn't got to be with Bullet Club yet.
Yeah.
Like, besides these past couple shows, and he's just like he's in. He's
Yeah.
in. Jay White's like, yeah, you're my guy.
I mean, Jay
that.
White recruited him, so it totally makes
Yeah.
sense.
Chris Bay's nice.
Yeah, Chris Bay is real good. But it's definitely, this is definitely that sort of like, this is that angle that New Japan's been wanting to run since, was that Resurrection? What was that show at the LA Coliseum? Resurgence.
Resurgence.
That was close. This is that like angle they've been wanting to do since that show. So they're finally pulling the trigger on it. And maybe since they're pulling the trigger on it, maybe that means we're going to get the Good Brothers heading to Japan soon. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out more at some point. I think this summer for New Japan is going to be great. I really think it's going to be great in New Japan this summer. I'm very excited.
Need it.
I
need it.
Matt Cardona defeats Jordan Grace to retain the Impact digital media title by disqualification.
Crowd was into this.
Crowd's into it. Matt Cardona's over. Matt Cardona knows what he's doing, man. I mean,
people hate Matt Cardona. People like Jordan Grace.
Yep.
Worked out really well.
Yeah. I
am always ready.
I just want to again point out that Matt Cardona reinvented himself in the indies, and out of that whole thing, that whole promotion, Matt Cardona is getting all of the work and all of the titles. And this character resurgence has made him probably so much money.
You know what's funny about the rebirth, resurgence, rebuild, whatever the hell you want to call it?
Sure.
He's just being Zack Ryder as a heel.
Yes. Yes.
Like, that's the whole character. And it works incredibly well, especially in the world of the indies, where people hate that type of stuff. It's just so simple, and he's so good at it.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Deonna Purrazzo defeats Miranda Alize.
Oh, I didn't watch this match.
It was. I thought
it was Miranda Alize, and I said, okay.
She did the champ challenge where she has her two belts, the Ring of Honor Women's title and the Reina de Reyes title. And then a random challenger comes out. It was Miranda Alize in this instance. Pick one of the titles and then fight for it. This match wasn't good. It was fine.
Which one did she pick? Which one did she pick?
She picked the Ring of Honor Women's World title. It was totally fine. I believe people have only picked, if I recall correctly, the Ring of Honor Women's World title. There's a cat just ran by me. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, I assume they're doing tapings today or tomorrow, Impact. I'm unsure. But I wouldn't be surprised if this
I saw
cat, this freaking cat over here. Do you see this on the Twitch stream?
Yes.
He is that is like a full floor drop, by the way. So, hey, Tucker, come on. Tucker.
Oh my god.
He is insane.
There we go.
He's an insane man.
So that's a little terrifying.
I wouldn't be surprised. What I was trying to say is I wouldn't be surprised if Taya Valkyrie, the new number one contender for the Reina de Reyes title, shows up in Impact to challenge for that.
Yay.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see that at some point. And also it would be something we see Taya back in Impact, but also be something for Deonna to do. You know, have a feud sort of thing.
Sure.
Jay White defeated Eric Young in 12 minutes and 12 seconds.
I believe I have this as the second best match from the show. I do.
I have this tied for second best match of the show with like 3 other matches.
So we had the same mindset.
It was really good. It was pretty good. It's pretty good.
I thought the match with Trent was better. To go off of basis, I did like that one better. For Jay White, of course. But this is probably the best Eric Young's looked in a while, huh? I know he's been hurt, so that's probably why. But I thought they looked really good. Jay White over like Rover, as we like to use that talk. But man, Jay White should not be an Impact. I was watching that the whole time. I was like, he is like the biggest star they've had wrestling an Impact ring, well, since Kenny. But if you look past Kenny in a very long time, like he's a lot better than these. Yeah, you get it.
He has elements of being a dude in Impact. Because his not being in New Japan, he is so much less of a star now.
Yeah, I think it helps.
He's cooled off immensely. He's cooled off immensely.
Yeah, well, him being in AEW this past couple weeks has dramatically helped him. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's getting hot again all of a sudden because he's actually being seen by people. So that helps.
Yeah, so I'm excited. Maybe we'll see him in New Japan Cup. What are the odds? Maybe.
I think it's 50-50, honestly.
I kind of agree. I would love
48 people. 48 people. I feel like you gotta
bring him in. You gotta bring him in.
If he's not in the New Japan Cup, I'm gonna go bold right now. If he's not in the New Japan Cup, I don't think he's going back to New Japan proper.
Ooh, at all. He's just gonna write out his contract on Strong.
Like, one, he's built perfectly well for American television, the way his entire character works. He's a star. He's felt like a star in his AEW. Like, if you watch Rampage, for those who might have not watched Rampage, because I know not everyone watches Rampage, but if you watch Rampage, when he did his whole promo and everything, I was like, oh, dude, like, he can make anything feel important.
Yeah.
Like, he made a match with Trent that just happened.
Yeah.
Feels so important.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know we've been talking about Jay White a lot over the past couple of weeks because he's becoming prominent again. But I really hope he's in that New Japan Cup. I really do, because I think they need him as much as he needs them.
I totally agree. Singles match as well. Jonah defeating Black Taurus in 8 minutes and 8 seconds.
It's pretty fucking nutty, huh? I had a good time.
I thought it was a pretty good match. I love me some Black Taurus.
Still not my best, but still not my favorite match of the night, but it's really good.
Jonah's really good. I love me some Black Taurus. Hoss. Love it.
They could be in the Face of the Revolution match. They fit the bill.
Do you think they do fit the bill? They do fit the bill. Do you think Jonah that terrified me? Legit jumped. Holy crap.
It's all about the beef.
Do you think
it's all about the beef? Sorry.
Do you think Jonah can potentially beat Moose for the title?
I do, and I also think he can potentially be in the New Japan Cup.
Ooh, that would be nice.
I think he's someone that definitely wants to travel.
Yes. Oh, based on the Strong reports about what's happening on Strong. Would be
TMDK.
Would be surprised if we get some sort of reunion and bring in old Mikey Nichols, mad Mikey Nichols back in.
The mighty don't. They brought in 3 good names this week.
Who did?
Shane Thorne, Swerve,
Shane Strick,
and Mascara Dorada.
Yes, Shane Dorada.
Grand Metalik.
Shane Thorne,
to be exact.
Shane Thorne, Shane Strickland, and Shane Dorada. Impact X Division title #1 contenders match. Kicked off the show with this: Jake Something versus Ace Austin versus Chris Bay versus Mike Bailey, with Jake Something winning.
This is the second straight time I think Impact's peaked with their opening match. And it's been with all the same guys.
Can I give my insane take?
Sure.
I gave this match 4.5 stars.
Holy shit.
I thought this match
it was amazing.
I thought this match was really great.
I thought people were going to get mad with 4.
I thought this match was so good. You know me. Multi-man matches, I want it to be quick. I want it to be fast-paced. I want to be people flying all over the place. That was happening. All great action all the way through. Mike Bailey had great spots. Great high-flying spots as well. Great strikes. Chris Bay was just
Chris Bay floated.
Chris Bay floated. He was
multiple times.
He was the star in that match. That exchange on the apron with Ace Austin and Chris Bay, where Chris Bay dodges it and just sort of like, yeah, baby, and then turns around and just gets walloped in the jaw. That was perfect. He like you said, he floated at one point, but he was a star in his match.
Ryan.
Yes.
Ryan. But his name is something.
Jake Something. Holy crap, this guy, Jake Something. I've been thinking it for weeks that, holy crap, what the hell is Impact doing with Jake Something? He was on the pre-show last card, and now he's here.
Aren't they all? Oh, yeah, he got moved out of the match.
Yeah, right. He's got something, man, and they're seeming going with it. What was it? Is it the Hurricane Rana reversal spot where he still holds on and converts it into a power bomb? I believe he did it on Ace Austin.
Yeah, that was so good.
He did it on Chris Bay a number of weeks ago, and I was like, oh, that was great. And I saw it here, and it was just even better for some reason. This match I thought was just a perfect multi-man, constant action. You know, we did get like the 2-on-2 spots, but we got not 2-on-2. We got plenty of 1-on-1 spots, but I felt like we got even more multi-man sections of this match, or it didn't feel like it was ever 1-on-1. It definitely felt like all people were fighting at each other at the same time. This was constant action for 7 minutes. So good. I love this match so much, Scotty.
I think it's what people like to call a banger.
Yeah, this is a banger. This was a barn burner. This is
the type of match that I always give credit to WWE for. Like, they're really good at multi-man like matches when there's no cage or chamber, or, they're just really. You saw it in Atlanta at Day One. Like, they're really good at them.
Short multi-mans. I'll say specifically short multi-man,
just sprints.
Sprints.
They're good at sprints. Like, it can go like 15 minutes, but they're good at the sprint multi-man matches, or Money in the Bank, something like that too. Most of the time.
Yeah.
And I was watching this one, and I was like, man, this is. Oh, first of all, I walked away saying, okay, well, if Impact didn't have their heads up their asses, you just build around these 4 guys. Because they're all incredible in their own way. They all got charisma. They got everything.
Yeah.
And
let's make these guys your 4 pillars.
Yeah, Chris Bay. My God, he's so good. He's so good. I love if he got a big win once, but he is so good. And I don't remember what it was, but he somehow drop kicked someone that was on top of Jake Something's shoulders in the face. It
was like Jake Something was going to do like a power bomb to like Mike Bailey onto Ace Austin, but then Chris Bay just like jumps straight up, drop kicked the guy that was in the power bomb position, and and Mike Bailey backflipped back.
It was insane.
Yeah,
it was insane. This match was great. This match was great. The problem with Impact, right?
Yeah,
is that they keep doing this. They keep putting the best match first, and that ruins the rest of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I compare every match to the first match.
Yeah, and I thought the first 3 matches were really good. Yeah, I thought they, you went with the
good start. Good start.
Fatal 4-way, Jonah versus Black Taurus, and then Eric Young and Jay White. Like, those were a good 3-match start. but you set yourself up to fail. Like, you can't have the best match where you just have like it's reminiscent of the old X Division stuff that they had way back in the day.
Yeah. You can't give me a great match to start and then expect me to think, all right, here we go, Moose W. Morrissey, baby.
Yeah,
Let's get into it.
Like AEW can do that because you're probably going to get a better match.
Yeah, because the better match down the line is going to be like Adam Page versus Adam Cole. You're like, okay, this should be pretty good. I'm excited for this.
But you can't do it with Moose as your world champion or PCO in the main event.
You can't do this to Balloon Guy.
Oh no!
This match,
man.
but like this match was.
East Austin, man.
I talk about this a lot. This match was like my thesis statement on why all multi-man matches need to be a sprint.
Yeah.
Like there's the idea, and I get the idea that multi-man matches should last longer for whatever reason because there's more people stopping and people can get less tired because they have a chance to breathe. No. It should always be a sprint. There should always be fighting constantly for 7 minutes. I should never have a moment to myself in a multi-man match where I'm like, all right, kind of a lull in this match. I can take my breath. No. It needs to be a sprint. It needs to be exactly like this match. Hats off to all 4 of these men. Great match. I loved it so much. Great match.
I always love seeing like what the complete differences of a fan's favorite type matches are.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is the perfect showcase for you.
Yeah.
You have this one, right? This is all the way over here. 4.5 stars. Awesome.
Great.
Then you have the Jay White versus Kota Ibushi match on the other side, which is fucking dramatically different.
5 stars.
And I think that's the beauty of pro wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Is that you can have these crazy different matches and they bring you enjoyment either way. And I just love that. This match is by far the best match of the show. Shout out to these dudes.
Yeah.
And now we're gonna get Jake something versus Trey Miguel, which would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. To me, the past 2 Impact shows have been pretty decent to good. So
I think they have, like, if we're doing a thumbs up, thumbs down rating, thumbs up.
That's a thumbs up on the show. And I'm starting to get, it's like between this show, the last one I think was Hard to Kill. All right. Do it. We're going somewhere.
What's my name? Son of a gets me every time.
Stardom this week will be having their next show. We're almost done. We'll get through this, I think, fairly quickly. Stardom Cinderella Journey in Nagoya. No, not Nagoya. My apologies. Nagoka? No, my God. Nagoka. That's what I thought. So we got a little bit of a preview here. So I'm going to hit you with some of these ideas, Scotty, and I'm going to get your thoughts on all of it. This preview is coming.
Kyrie's back.
Yes, she is. This preview is coming from Last Word on Sports from Alex. So again, thank you, Alex. It says dark match here. I don't know if it's a dark match or a pre-show match.
Pre-show match.
Future of Stardom #1 contenders match. Mai, Sakurai, Rina, and this says AKA Tsukiyama. Is this the trainee that's making their debut?
No, it's Waka. That means he spelled it wrong.
He forgot the W. And Waka Tsukiyama.
That's tough.
You should DM Alex and say, hey, your article fucked up, and I called him out live on air.
I'm gonna do it right now. You do it right now.
Yeah, he's gonna listen to the podcast and be like, shit. Anyways, #1 contenders match. Who do I like to see face Hanan?
Well, my Sakurai is part of DDM, so part of me thinks she's probably gonna win. But I mean, Hanan versus Rina, sister versus sister is definitely a interesting match. I'm gonna go with my Sakurai because she's the one getting the push,
the momentum push.
I
agree.
So I think that's probably the way.
Future Stardom Championship match: Hanan versus Momo Kogo.
Alex said he'd fight you.
Well,
said, and then he said, "Wait, no." And then he's like, "What did he say? You spelled Waka."
You got the W on Waka Tsukiyama
preview.
Yeah. So what are you doing? So Future Stardom Championship match: Hanan versus Momo Kogo. I think this is a Hanan victory. I don't think Momo Kogo is quite there yet, in my opinion.
Yeah, Hanen's winning. This is the Hanan belt for I hope for a while.
Do you think if we both think Mai could win the dark match there? Do you think Mai could take the title?
It's definitely possible with
Yeah.
the angle they're going for.
Yeah.
And I think the angle goes one way or the other. If like, oh, she's still a failure, or oh, she went to DEM, now she wins. Like it could go either way. So I think she's definitely a viable person to beat. Well, she's not very good, but she's a viable person in storyline to beat Hanan.
Yeah, I agree. Next up, Queen's Quest. Utami Hayashishida and Lady C taking on a team of Momo Watanabe and Ruaka.
Well, did you see Utami got a haircut?
No, I did not see Utami got a haircut.
She did. Looks very nice.
Is it like
it's back to her very short hair like she used to have when she was rookieing it up and rookie and whatever the fuck it's called.
When you're the ace of a promotion, you can change up your hairstyle whatever way you want.
That's why Mayu changes her hair all the time. You're right. That's exactly why. Thanks for asking, Ryan.
I was gonna reference Tanahashi and say
that's true.
His
go ace. Well, that's why Mayu is still the ace. Utami's the Okada, and then
you're right.
Mayu's the Tanahashi.
So right. My mistake, sir. My mistake.
So yeah, definitely your mistake.
Well, what do you think?
What is the match? What is the match?
The tag match.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah. Utami and Momo are just at the end of this to make the Ryogoku Sumo Hall singles match. I think Momo and Ruaka should win because Momo hasn't pinned anyone since the first weekend or first big weekend in January. She hasn't gotten pinned, but she hasn't pinned anyone either. She's just kind of been there.
Yeah, this is a good opportunity for Momo to get a pin on Lady C.
Well, yeah, she's not pinning Tommy.
Of course not. Next up, tag match again: Mayu Otani and Tam Nakano versus Oedo Tai, Saki Kashima, and Fukigen Death. I missed something. Why are they teaming up?
Thanks for asking. So originally, this was set to be Tam versus Fukigen Death on the pre-show.
What a match!
just so they could get her on the card, and then it was
who Fukigen Death. Gotta get her on the card. She's the draw.
Probably. She probably said, I want the pay-per-view payday. By the way, this is a very much B-level like pay-per-view. Let's be honest here.
Sure.
And Saki Kashima was facing Mayu in a singles match. And then the press conference, which, by the way, it was only Mayu and Saki there. Saki goes, I want to team with Fukigen. So that means you have to team with Tam. And Mayu was like, what?
What?
And then Saki was like, Rossi, make the match. And he's like, okay. Here you go. You're welcome.
Why?
So yeah, we're getting Mayu and Tam together, which should be fun.
It feels like it undoes everything from last year. Why the hell are we doing
I mean, it definitely doesn't undo anything yet. I mean, if they work perfectly and like there's not a single sign of this dissension or hate, then yeah, it's gonna be a little confusing. They'll be like, we're fine. Nothing happened.
Yeah, that's all very confusing to me.
I'm always here for awkward tags as long as they nail it. And they're good at character work, so I'm sure it'll be funny.
That might be true.
That's Fukigen Death.
I love it.
That's Fukigen Death.
High speed title match. Starlight Kid defending her title against Azumi. Should be good.
This will probably be the co-main event based off the voting that they did.
Oh yeah, they are doing a special voting thing with the audience.
Well, that's over. It's over. This came in second. This is gonna rock. Rule. I was trying to think of another adjective with an R that could have described it. I lost it.
This will roll?
I don't know about that, but you have the two best high-speed wrestlers in the promotion, two of the best in the world. Starlight Kid and Azumi, they have all the story. They have the Momo aspect, the Oedo Tai versus Queen's Quest aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Give them 15 minutes and just sit back, relax, enjoy the show. This should be awesome. I think I have changed who I think is going to win 4 times in the past 3 days. I have no idea who's going to win. I'm going to just go with that because it would make sense if Azumi won because there's really no other challengers for Starlight Kid. And you would be able to elevate Starlight Kid to the next step, I think, without the high speed title. But Starlight Kid is Starlight Kid, and maybe they want to keep that title on her. So, guess we'll see.
Well, we'll find out, I guess. I think this is gonna be a great match. I feel like they always have a great match. Plus, I do feel like I've seen this match a lot for whatever reason. But
you probably have.
So, we'll it's still gonna be good. I don't know what this means. Alex Ryogoku Outpost is what's written here. Donna Del Mundo, Shiri, Micah,
post match,
and Himeka versus Julia, Tekla, and Mirai.
Yeah, so the Outpost match.
I should also say for Alex, so you can let him know. So he wrote articles, wrote some words about each match. He did not write anything about this match.
That's funny. So an Outpost match is it's just like it's a preview match for the world title match, which is Shuri versus Julia. At Stardom World Climax. This match was originally set a couple weeks ago. Of course, it didn't happen because Omega missed the weekend. So now we get it. It's probably the first step in what everyone believes to be a DDM split. So should be interesting. I mean, you have 6 good wrestlers in there. I'm going to be entertained.
Yeah, I think we're rapidly heading towards a split. I don't know how the split will shake out. I mean, do you think it'll be Shuri, Micah, and Himeka going in one corner with Natsupoi, and then Julia, Tekla, Mirai, and I don't know.
It'll be Julia, Mirai, Tekla, and Mai Sakurai.
Yeah, that was the name I was trying to think of.
Probably.
All right. Goddess of Stardom Championship, Hazuki and Kaguma taking on Amina Shirakawa and Unagi Sayaka. I think this should be a pretty good match. I honestly think this should be a pretty good match.
Yeah.
Unconfident.
Yeah, I mean, it should be pretty good. Sorry, I got an email from work, so I'm a little
good email, bad email?
Little rattling email.
Shit.
It'll be good. It'll be good. Hazuki and Koguma, their class. Unagi and Mina work well enough together. I'm sure this will be a good tag title match.
But let's power through the end here. Wonder of Stardom Championship match. Saya Kamatani versus Natsupoi. I think this should be a very good match. I'm very excited about this match. Saya, I think Saya is going to retain because they're also teasing a Saya versus Kairi match, kind of. I think it's more of a support, but I also wouldn't be mind seeing a Saya Kamatani versus Kairi match whatsoever. So book that, please. So Scotty, what do you think about this match?
This match is going to be the match of the night. I think we can all confidently say that. There's not going to be a lot of the story or the hatred. This is just going to be 2 really, really good wrestlers wrestling, putting on a show. It should be excellent. Should be a great main event. And then I expect an angle afterwards. What kind of angle? I have no idea. But it should be really good.
There will be an angle. I have no idea what the angle. Do you think angle involves Saya Kamatani?
Yeah, it'll probably be Saya's challenge for Ryogoku, whatever that may be.
We didn't talk about this at all, but obviously Kairi returned. But
confirmed, yes.
There is a confirmed second person.
Yeah, I have no fucking clue.
Everyone was like dead set on Kairi, and now it's like, wait, hold on. Who is the second person?
I don't know. They like to toss names around. No one actually knows this time. Like, we're all lost.
Yeah.
Maybe it's no one. It was all a dream.
Maybe it's no one. Maybe it's Rossi in some sort of wig. Maybe it's Brandy. Maybe it's Tony Storm. Maybe
if it's Brandy, I'm gonna fly to Atlanta and punch you in the mouth.
That'd be great. That'd be great because I can see you in person, and then I'll promptly go to the hospital.
Why are you in the hospital? Brandy.
Brandy. I can't speak.
Brandy.
Do you want a drink? Is that what you want? Who knows, Brandy? But yeah, no. So yeah, it's definitely like a smaller show. There's not a lot of like angle stuff happening, but it does feel like maybe there'll be some sort of angle afterwards. Do you think the second person would reveal themselves as the post-match angle, if there is one?
Yes. I don't know if that's who it's gonna be though. I think they could just get a challenge from I was gonna say a normal, but like someone on the roster. I think could be it.
Could be a good challenge.
Yeah.
I agree. I guess we'll find out. Again, this is happening on the 23rd of February, so that is Wednesday, I believe. So strap in, folks, for that show. And that is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. You can find us on wherever you get podcasts, and if you can, subscribe and leave a 5-star review with your thoughts on what you liked about the show. We would greatly appreciate it. It helps out our show immensely. All it does, you take a minute out of your day, leave a 5-star review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever. It would greatly help us out, and we really appreciate it. Scotty, do you have anything to plug, or do you have any matches from the past week in wrestling?
Yeah. So I guess our new thing you and me are doing is we don't pick like the obvious ones. So I'm not gonna say Naito or
trying not to say ones that we reviewed.
Yeah, or Tanahashi versus Sonata, or the match from Impact. So now I gotta fucking pick something random. Awesome.
I love how upset this makes you every time.
Bryan Danielson versus Lee Moriarty. That match ruled. That was a great time. I love me some Bryan Danielson kicking people's heads in.
Well, egg on my face, right? Because that's what I was gonna pick.
Yeah, I'll give you a second one then. I'll give you a second one then if you want that one.
No. Oh, okay, sure. Okay. No, I'll figure it. I can figure it out. Ready? Here we go. Ready?
Cool.
We're gonna pick. I'll pick something we've already been talking about, and I've actually seen. I'm going to pick. Oh, great. Here we go. Braun Breaker versus Santos Escobar. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah. That was this week. Holy shit.
That was Vengeance Day this week.
It's been a long week. Wow.
So I watched it.
That was pretty good.
I'm still watching NXT. I know I said at the beginning of the year that I was probably going to stop watching it. I'm still watching it, folks. Get off my back.
I watch it if I am told something good happened, and that's what I will watch. Except,
so you're saying you haven't watched NXT at all this year?
I watched the entire show this week. I watched the Dolph Ziggler thing the week before because I just was intrigued. I watch like one thing per week at this point, but this past week I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match. It was your classic wrestling match. Santos Escobar is very good. Braun Breaker, I think, is still getting there. Which, maybe you put the title on someone that's better, like Santos Escobar, but whatever.
I like Braun Breaker. He's going to beat Roman.
He's going to be the guy that finally beats Roman. Roman's going to hold the title for thousands of years. And then Braun Breaker's going to be like, I'm challenging you. And he's like, oh, who are you? And then he's going to go like an Okada-like reign. That's going to make the company billions of dollars. Is that what you're saying?
That's not at all what I'm saying, actually. No, well, they're already making billions.
That's true. You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Knightsey. You can follow Scotty on at Scott E Wrestling. This has been Ring Post Radio. You can find the show on Twitter at CountOutPod. We live stream the show every Sunday morning, where you can watch and interact with us live on twitch.tv/countout, YouTube's Countout Wrestling page, Facebook or Twitter. We have those things as well. So we would greatly appreciate it if you joined us every Sunday, or of course, listen to the audio feed if you like. We have a bunch of new shows coming up on Count Out, we just announced a brand new show that's going to be happening soon. We announced the date. Scotty, do you want to talk about that new show?
Yeah, I got through my email, so oh well.
Is it good? Is it like how on a scale of 1 to 10?
Big deal. I had to record a podcast last night. I wasn't part of the show. I had to record it for someone
for work?
Some of the personalities at work.
Oh.
And one of the microphones was quieter than the other, so they thought the microphone wasn't on at all. And I was like, it was on. I heard it. I listened to the entire show. They did get it up, so because they had sent it to me, they emailed me like 12:30 a.m.
Yeah.
Which I did not see. Once I leave work, I do not look at my email. I check it once a day, but I just checked it, and they said it might not have been able to go out, but I see that it went out. So because you can edit these things post show, you could make someone louder and make people quieter. So I don't know if they knew that or not. But they said it was off, and I was like, I heard the entire thing. She just talks quieter than everyone else.
Yeah, she just has a softer voice.
Anyways, it's fine. I don't care. Fuck work. I'm not talking about work. What I am going to talk about here is Pod of Stardom. Sorry, I just was like completely out of it for the past 10 minutes. By the way, Stardom Cinderella journey going to be a very good show, I think.
We're at the end of plugs.
I know, but I had to go back to that. Yes, Pod of Stardom, though. We're going to go into the history of Stardom, of course, as they continue to grow and become one of the biggest and most enjoyable promotions in the world. I thought it would be good to go into the history of Stardom and look at the days of Suzuki Aikawa, Io Shirai, Kairi Hojo, early days of Mayu Iwatani, Yoshiko, Nanai Takahashi, so many other greats, Kagetsu, there's a whole list I could go through. We're going to go through all the years. We're going to jump around. We're going to start at the beginning. There's no way we're going in like exact order or the show would get very boring. Like this isn't a, step-by-step process. I'm going to shake it up. We're going to jump into a lot of great matches, great moments, and check it out. Pod of Stardom coming soon on Count Out.
Yeah, so make sure you're subscribed to the Count Out feed. It's going to have its own individual feed, of course, but subscribe to the Count Out feed. You'll get more information as it pound out, and follow us on Twitter at Count Out Pod. We'll have more information when it becomes available. Jude the cat. Do you have anything to say? No, he doesn't. He's not even purring. He's just silently letting me hold him. And he's staring into my eyes. So maybe that means that he loves me. So I don't know. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Ring Post Radio. We'll see you all next week. Goodbye.